Let's get into some things, child. We got some stuff to talk about today, honey. We got some stuff to talk about. Hit that like button. If you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We have a great time over here. You meant what you said when you said it. Really be as bad, because I'll be understanding y'all sometimes. And when y'all know when I say y'all, you know I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about y'all. This means that all these people that got something to say have been actively involved in the political process in their world. I don't believe it. You ain't gonna convince me. I know y'all love me. What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Come on in. We were gonna do this later on in the day, but I was like, I'm up. Shot out and cleaned off my car. I had breakfast, so I said, well, let's go ahead and get this party started. As you guys know, that's what I was trying. No, I like this one better. Sorry, y'all. All right, I like this better. As you guys know, this whole Fox News lawsuit has been all over the place. And we talked a little bit about it in our tribe meeting the other day. But, baby, I just didn't understand how deep this lawsuit went. So, Tracy, once again, y'all know my girl Tracy pulled the lawsuit for us. And she actually found this over to the X. Y'all know I don't have X anymore, child. So she found it over to the X app, the Twitters. So we're going to read through it. Now, listen, it's 42 pages long, but I know what y'all want to hear. Y'all want the salaciousness of it all. And then we're going to see all, baby, this thing got layers to it. Do you hear me? Fox Sports. Y'all had a lot going on over there. Let's get into this lawsuit, though, y'all. Let me share my screen, honey. And let's go on and get into this lawsuit. It's a doozy. Now let me ask y'all a question, and maybe I should make this a poll. Now, normally, y'all, we stay on our side of the fence. Y'all know what I'm saying? We stay on our side of the fence. But this Blake Lively situation, do we care about it? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want to talk about this Blake Lively situation. Tell me if y'all care. Because I saw the lawsuit and I really didn't pay attention. And then there was a counter lawsuit. And now it just seems like it's a whole situation. Y'all tell me if y'all care about it. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and talk about this Fox Sports thing. Because I ain't know we cared about this Fox Sports thing the way we do. But we're going to talk about it. We are going to talk about. Okay, I see a lot of don't cares. Okay, well, if y'all don't care, I don't care. If y'all don't care, I don't care. I didn't think y'all was going to care about this. But people caring about it. Blake who? Not Blake who. Not Blake who. She's an actress, Ryan Reynolds' wife. She sued her co-worker, and then he countersued, and he sued the New York Times or the New York Post, and said they were reckless because they posted this article was full of lies, and he showed his text messages to prove that she was lying. Child, it's a mess. But again, I don't know if we care about it. Okay, she barely care about this story. Okay, well, let's get into this. Now, over to the Fox Sports, excuse me. We have, and if I'm saying your name wrong, baby, charge it to my head and not my heart. Okay, a former employee, Faraji, and I'm just going to call her Faraji, and if I'm wrong, charge it to my head, not my heart. She is suing Fox Corporation, Fox Sports Holdings, Fox Productions, Skip Bayless, and Joy Taylor, and John Doe's 1 through 25. Now, here's the thing: we've learned about this John Doe situation over to the TD Jakes of it all. We don't know who these John Does 1 through 25 are. I guess she's reserving the right to come back and circle back around to some other people. So we don't know who the John Does 1 through 25 are right now. Now, this is a class action complaint. She wants failure to pay minimum wages, failure to pay overtime wages, failure to reimburse business expenses, failure to pay all wages upon separation, failure to furnish accurate itemized wage statements, unfair, unlawful, or fraudulent business practices. And then the individual complaint is actual battery, hostile work environment for sex and gender, race and nationality, hostile work environment for disability. Girl, what's your disability? Failure to prevent harassment, negligent supervision, hiring and retention, retaliation, and wrongful termination. Baby, she got a whole laundry list. She has a whole laundry list of stuff. Now let's keep going. Ooh, Abita said, I don't care if they take down Ocho. I don't care about him. Okay. Well, she said, I can't stand him. Okay. All right. Y'all know they just talking about, okay. Summary of action. This is the part y'all care about, okay? Miss Faraji brings forth this action because for over a decade at Fox, she was forced to endure a misogynistic, racist, and ableist workplace where executives and talent were allowed to physically and verbally abuse workers with impunity. When Ms. Faraji and others came forward to report the wrongdoing, instead of addressing their concerns, Fox retaliated against them while the perpetrators and those who protected them were explicitly promoted. This case thus represents yet another in a long line of cases chronicling the toxic culture at Fox, marked by bad faith promises and repeated failures to address a poisonous and enriched patriarchy. Child, these lawyers and these word salads. Right, this is gonna be the first version of the complaint because eventually she's gonna have to put these does in there. Okay. She also brings forth an action on behalf of herself and Fox's current and former non-exempt hourly employees employed in California, beginning 4 years prior to the filing of this complaint and ending on the date as determined by the court. Specifically, during the class period, Fox has a consistent policy and or practice of failing to pay employees all minimum wages. Okay, everything they already said, failing to pay the people. Now listen, she's trying to create a class action lawsuit out of this, which is what she's putting in there, okay? Hey, Marilyn, listen, I'm off work, child. We're going to do Married to Medicine after this. And we're going to get to this Don King lawsuit and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Baby, I'm working today. Okay? I'm working today. Let's get into it. Okay. Hey, KK. Hey, everybody coming in. Hit that like button. I didn't do the long intro, so it's going to take people a few minutes to find the video. But when y'all come in, please hit the like button. Come on and take a seat, y'all. We working. We are working today, okay? All right, venue and jurisdiction. Y'all know they just have to say whether they have jurisdiction to file this lawsuit. The parties, we already talked about the parties. Child, we getting good at going through these lawsuits, honey. We getting good at going through these lawsuits, okay? Now, listen, let's talk a little bit about the people. All right, we know that Executive Vice President, hold on, let me scroll back up. All right, Fox. Okay. The defendant, Charlie Dixon, is an Executive Vice President of Content for FS1, Fox flagship multi-sports network. Defendant Skip Bayless is a sports columnist, commentator, and television personality. Yada, yada, yada. Defendant Joy Taylor is a media personality and television host for Fox. She co-hosts a show, Speak, on FS1. At all relevant times, Ms. Taylor was an agent of Fox and had authority to make decisions impacting Ms. Faraji's employment upon information and belief. Ms. Taylor is a resident of the state of California. All right. While not currently named as a defendant herein, Mark Silverman, president and COO of Fox Sports, and Eric Shanks, an executive producer. So those are two of the John Does. They haven't been named yet, but I mean, that's what it sounds like. They're throwing them in here, honey. And then it talks about what their position was. Ms. Faraji is ignorant of the true names, capabilities, relationships, and extent of participation in the conduct herein alleged of the defendant's suit herein, the Does 1 through 25, but is informed and believes and therein alleges that said defendants are legally responsible for the wrongful conduct alleged herein, therefore sues the defendant by such fictitious names. Ms. Faraji will amend this complaint to allege the true names and capabilities of the DOE defendants when ascertained. So basically, like we said, she believes that there are other people that were involved, but she doesn't have those names at this time. She's putting those 1 through 25 to reserve the right to circle back around, basically. Okay? So anybody that was working down to the Fox Sports during this time period, you can't breathe a sigh of relief yet. You ain't out the clear yet. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. Anybody down to the Fox Sports during them 10 years that this lady worked there, you not out the clear yet. Moving right along. Here's the background information, okay? Now, the good news is, like I said, this is a 42-page complaint. Child, we only on page 4. But y'all know we only going to read the background information and the relevant events, okay? Now, let's listen. In 2003, Ms. Faraji began to work for Jose Eber Hair Salon, a sophisticated salon providing cutting-edge styling and coloring techniques and treatments to high-profile clients. Around 2010, Ms. Faraji was introduced by a co-worker at the salon to Gail Bierman, the former president of entertainment for Fox Broadcasting Company, and Dana Walden, the former CEO of Fox Television. Okay. Shortly thereafter, Ms. Faraji began accompanying the co-worker to do Ms. Walden and Ms. Bierman's hair at their homes and on the premises of Fox. Over time, Ms. Faraji's co-worker became busy with other clients. He sent Ms. Faraji on her own to do their hair at their homes and on the premises of Fox. Approximately 2012, a makeup stylist who would do Ms. Walden or Ms. Bierman's makeup when Ms. Faraji worked in their hair recommended her for a position at Fox. Fox then hired her as a part-time employee. When hired, Ms. Faraji was asked to bring her own tools for her to work. She would later discover that all her co-workers received a kit fee for bringing their own tools. However, she herself would not receive a kit fee until 2019, approximately 7 years after she started working at Fox. In addition, while Ms. Faraji was a hairstylist, her supervisor also required that she do the job duties of a barber. When Ms. Faraji complained to her union, they told her that while cutting hair was not in her contract, Ms. Peretti was known to be difficult and it was best to just comply with her request. Accordingly, throughout her tenure, Ms. Faraji both styled and cut hair. In 2016, Ms. Faraji was hired as a full-time hairstylist. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know the difference, so I'm going to just say, okay, girl. All right. Moving right along. Okay. Mr. Dixon gives Miss Taylor undisputed as a reward for having sex with him. Sure. We just jump right in, huh? We're going to go straight from you cutting people's hair to we just going to jump. Okay, girl. All right, then let's jump right in, child. Approximately March of 2016, Ms. Faraji met Ms. Taylor, an aspiring sports personality that had recently moved from Miami to Los Angeles for the opportunity of airtime at Fox. At the time, Ms. Taylor did not have a regular position, but would fill in on a day-to-day basis when talent was sick or otherwise missed time. Miss Taylor told Miss Faraji that she was recently wed, but her husband remained in Miami and that she was lonely in Los Angeles. Miss Taylor then befriended Miss Faraji. In approximately 2016, Miss Taylor asked Miss Faraji to meet for a drink in Santa Monica. When she arrived, she found Miss Taylor with an older man, Fox Sports Executive Vice President of Content, Mr. Dixon. As Executive Vice President, Mr. Dixon was responsible for overseeing all content and production on FS1. Miss Faraji, however, did not know Mr. Dixon. When Mr. Dixon went to buy them another round of spicy margaritas, child, she remembered a drink. She remembered a drink. She said we was drinking spicy margaritas. Miss Faraji asked who he was. Miss Taylor responded, he's just a friend. Following that night, whenever Miss Faraji would meet Miss Taylor for drinks and food, Mr. Dixon would either arrive with Miss Taylor or show up later in the night and leave with Miss Taylor. He would always buy rounds of drinks and or food, and from their body language, Miss Faraji suspected that the pair was sleeping with each other. And although this concerned her as she knew Mr. Taylor was recently married, Miss Faraji kept her opinions to herself. In approximately June of 2016, while at work, she noticed Mr. Dixon on the elevator. Surprised by the coincidence, Miss Faraji found Miss Taylor and told her excitedly, the guy who always buys us drinks is in the elevator. Miss Taylor quickly silenced Miss Faraji, explaining who he was, and Miss Faraji became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that such a relationship was unsafe. Miss Taylor told her not to worry about it, and they continued to be friends with Mr. Taylor, but she tried to distance herself as she considered the situation dangerous as well as morally wrong. Girl! Girl! Y'all be cracking me up in these lawsuits, how y'all be trying to make yourselves into these saints. I need y'all to just be like, look, listen, that was my homegirl. I knew she was married. She said she was lonely. He used to buy spicy margaritas. He always picked up the bill. He was a cool dude. And when I realized that he was an executive, I was like, oh, snap. But I'm going to keep that to myself. Y'all really doing me. Y'all really cracking me up when y'all be trying to be like, I tried to keep my distance because I thought it was morally wrong. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. She told all this lady business. Child, she laid Joy out, honey. She told all this lady business. Move right along. Let's finish getting through this, honey. Let's finish getting through this, child. This thing. In approximately 2016, word spread among Fox employees about a new show that was going to be a big deal, as it would star Mr. Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Now, why you call him Mr. Bayless, but you didn't call Shannon Sharp Mr. Sharp? They're going to put Mr. Sharp in parentheses. I'm sorry, his name is Mr. Sharp. If Skip Bayless' name is Mr. Bayless, then Shannon Sharp's name is Mr. Sharp. Don't be putting it in parentheses like he don't deserve Mr. Sharp. That's just disrespectful. What was that? Now I'm going to ride for my aunt, okay? Hold on, let me make this bigger. Maybe y'all can't see what I see. Hold on. Can I make this bigger? I don't know if I can make this bigger. Hold on. I don't know if I can make this bigger. But y'all, do y'all see this? They're going to put in parentheses Mr. Sharp. Instead of, if it's Mr. Bayless, it's Mr. Sharp. Now, hold on. Let me change this. Maybe make this a little bit bigger. You're going to say Mr. Bayless. And then going to say Shannon Sharp. And then put Sharp name in parentheses. Oh, because it's his first name in there? I don't know. Is that how you're supposed to do it? Maybe that is. Maybe you're right. You're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just getting excited for no reason. Hold on. Let me calm down. El Michelle, I think you're right. That was the first time they said his name. So they got to say his full name and then put it. You're right. You're right. I was getting excited for no reason. Okay. Maybe because I just don't like Skip Bayless ass. And I ain't, but you're right. El Michelle, you're right. You reminded me of my grammar rules. You reminded me of my grammatical rules. You're right. Okay, let me calm down. Let me get back to reading. Okay. You're right, girl. Thank you, El Michelle, for getting me together. See, I'm not above y'all telling me I'm wrong about something. I'm not above that. Okay? All right, Mr. Sharp. It is known that Fox was looking for a woman with significant TV experience to also star. Therefore, it came as a surprise when Fox announced that Miss Taylor, who was... Baby, you are shady as hell. It came as a surprise when Fox announced that Miss Taylor, who was a bartender and a radio host in Miami with very little TV experience, would be the moderator of the new show, a sports debate program. Skip and Shannon Undisputed. Now, I've been watching Undisputed since day one. I remember when Undisputed debuted. I remember when it debuted. I remember the commercials for it. I ain't saying I watched every single episode. I would be telling a lie. But I did watch the first episode, and I watched it. I watched it more than I didn't watch it. I'll put it that way. Moving right along. Mr. Bayless later disclosed to Miss Faraji that he did not want Miss Taylor on the show. But Mr. Dixon was adamant that Miss Taylor should star. At first, Mr. Dixon arranged a dinner between Mr. Bayless and Miss Taylor, where she arrived in provocative clothing. Now, how you know she was in provocative clothing and acted in a provocative manner? Girl, was you at the dinner? Girl, were you there? When that did not change Mr. Bayless' opinion of Miss Taylor, Mr. Dixon asked him to approve of her as a favor to him. Reluctantly, Mr. Bayless agreed to do so as a favor to his friend. Around August of 2016, Miss Faraji attended a dinner with Miss Taylor and her husband and Mr. Dixon and his wife. Oh, that is dirty. That is some dirty business. Girl, you was there with the two couples after you knew that the girl and the guy was canoodling, drinking spicy margaritas down to the Santa Monica Pier. Oh, this is a book. This ain't no lawsuit. This is a Harlequin romance novel. Anyway, moving right along. Miss Taylor's husband became suspicious that Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were having a sexual relationship soon after the dinner. Miss Taylor's husband found evidence of the inappropriate relationship and divorced Miss Taylor. Why are you... Excuse me, Miss Faraji? Excuse me. Miss Faraji? Excuse me. When we gonna talk about what happened to you? Because what this got to do... Girl, what happened to you, though? I mean, we know they made you cut people's hair when you were supposed to be a hairstylist and they made you do a barber and stuff. I got that. They didn't give you the kit when they were supposed to get... Okay, girl, why are you telling all this lady business? In approximately September of 2016, Undisputed started. Miss Taylor requested Miss Faraji to do her hair. In approximately November 2016, after not allowing anyone to touch his hair, Mr. Bayless also requested Miss Faraji do his hair. Okay. Mr. Dixon gropes Miss Faraji after putting her on Undisputed. Okay, this way you should have started. This is what got to do with you. This is you. Okay. On January the 14th of 2017, Miss Taylor had her birthday party at Pearl's Rooftop in West Hollywood. Miss Faraji and other Fox employees who were invited attended as well. It was part of their job duties to appease talent, and a birthday party is an important event. As usual, Mr. Dixon was heavily drinking. See that? Girl, what you mean as usual he was heavily drinking? You can't just be... Now you're accusing the man of being a drunk. As usual, he was heavily drinking, buying drinks for everybody on a Fox credit card and blustering that everything purchased was on Fox's dime. Well, I mean, it was... People be using their corporate credit cards all the time. He was a COO, CEO, CFO, OOO. Yeah. Now I know why the blogs picked this up. This is so dirty. She tuning it up. Okay. She tuning it up. Okay. But she said this man was usually drinking. You can't be, now you trying to turn the man into a drunk. Y'all, I'm sorry. Let me stop pausing. I'll be pausing to read the chat because I want to see what y'all have to say. But let me keep going because we got a long way to go. Okay. Okay. As Miss Faraji was standing near the bar facing the crowd, Mr. Dixon approached her. He asked the bartender for a drink and then placed his arm on her lower back. He asked how she was doing, if she was having fun, and if she wanted a tequila shot. Miss Faraji felt very uncomfortable by this unsolicited touching and responded, "No, thank you." Mr. Dixon then moved his hand lower and started rubbing her body and grabbing her buttocks. Miss Faraji was mortified, but quickly thought to fake an incoming call to escape the situation. Now, let me put a pin in that. That man had absolutely no reason to put his hands on you unsolicited. Let's be clear. He never had any reason to put his hands on you unsolicited. But I do have a question. When he came up to you and ordered a drink and asked you if you wanted a tequila shot, why did that make you uncomfortable? Ain't this the same man that you and Joy Taylor have been having spicy margaritas with down to the Santa Monica Pier for years? Excuse me. I'm exaggerating with the years part. But ain't this the same one that you was having, that you was down to the Santa Monica Pier having drinks with? Maybe he know you like tequila shots. Why did that make you uncomfortable? Now, him putting his hands on you and rubbing your butt, that is wrong. That is wrong. Thank you, boo. That is wrong. Him rubbing on your boo-hoo-tee, that's wrong. But why did it make you uncomfortable? You think it was the touching that made her uncomfortable. Okay. All right. I mean, him putting his hands on you was wrong. Like, I'm not making no excuse for that. It's wrong. Wrong. I'm not making no excuse for that. I need y'all to understand. I'm not making no excuse for that. Okay? All right. Miss Faraji did not know who to turn to, but as she knew Miss Taylor was sleeping with Mr. Dixon, she turned to her. Surprisingly, Miss Taylor responded, "Get over it," and explained that she herself only had her job because Mr. Dixon, and that Miss Faraji only had her job because of Miss Taylor. She warned that Mr. Dixon could take both away. Now, listen, I'm not saying that that's what that lady said, but assuming that everything you saying is true, I can believe that that's what she said. Because if I'm sleeping with that man and I know that's the only reason why I got my job is because, I'm laying it down and I'm spreading it wide. And then I requested that you be the one to do my hair on the show, which means that the only reason why you got your job is because I got my job. I thought I was doing you a solid. I thought I was doing you a favor. Me and you was hanging down at the Santa Monica Pier having spicy margaritas with this man. So now you complaining because he touched your butt. Girl, get over it and move on with yourself. Every time you cash your check, just go on somewhere. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying I could believe that that's what she said. I can believe if Joy Taylor, I can believe that Joy Taylor said that. I'm not saying she did. I'm saying I could see how that could be her response. Y'all see what I'm saying? Okay. I ain't saying she was right. But, I mean, if she didn't have no problem, dipping it low and spreading it wide, I'm sure she thinking, why you mad? That's just my opinion. Okay? Moving right along. Let's keep going. Moving right along. Miss Faraji was terrified. Girl, why was you terrified? And then turned to her co-worker, Anonymous, to discuss. Now, you put everybody else's name in it. Put a name on it. Now, you would have named everybody else. You didn't call no. You got 25 John Does. And you're going to leave this lady Anonymous? Anyway, she went to Anonymous. Anonymous responded that Mr. Dixon was disgusting, that the entire situation was sick, but it wasn't shocking given Fox's culture, and that Miss Faraji should remain quiet if she wanted to keep her job. As a single mother who needed the job to support her son, she had no choice but to remain silent. I need you to put a name on it. Who is anonymous? Who is anonymous? Inquiring minds want to know. Moving right along. It's 139 of y'all in here. If y'all could do me a favor, please and thank you. If you haven't done so already, please hit that like button. And then when you get done with this, y'all go over to Black Girl Vitamins and y'all get y'all some vitamins to start off the new year, okay? If you're not a black girl, you know one. Go on and use my discount code ReallyBTV for 20% off of your first order. And if you've already used it, just find you another email address. Now, you didn't hear that from me. You didn't hear that from me, but just get you another email address. Okay. Moving right along. Okay. 7 years later. In 2023, Miss Peretti told Miss Faraji she did not like her or anything about Undisputed. Miss Peretti expanded that she already scheduled someone for hair on Undisputed when Mr. Dixon called her and told her that she must put Miss Faraji on Undisputed full time. So I guess when she got the job, Miss Peretti is the one that was making her cut the people's hair. I guess she had already had somebody in place. So 7 years later, she was still mad. She said that Miss Peretti told her, I don't like that. That's not how things should be done. Miss Faraji was stunned and devastated that she prides herself on her work and earning her accolades. Later that day, while thinking about her career, she was angry that Miss Peretti succumbed to Mr. Dixon's request, as it gave Mr. Dixon the feeling that he could grope her for giving her a job. Wait, what? Hold on, let me read that again. I gotta go back. I'm sorry, y'all, because something in my brain ain't connected. Okay. 7 years later, in 2023, Miss Peretti told Miss Faraji that she did not like her or anything about Undisputed. Miss Peretti expanded that she had already, I think you meant Miss Peretti explained. But anyway, she had already scheduled someone for hair on Undisputed when Mr. Dixon called her and told her that she must put Miss Faraji on Undisputed full time. Miss Peretti told Miss Faraji, I didn't like that. That's not how things should be done. Miss Faraji was stunned and devastated as she prides herself on her work and earning her accolades. Later that day, while thinking about her career, she was angry that Miss Peretti succumbed to Mr. Dixon's request, as it gave Mr. Dixon the feeling that he could grope her for giving her a job. So 7 years later, that lady's still mad. 7 years later, that lady is still mad. Okay. Let me keep reading, y'all. We only on like page 8, so let's keep going, chat. Mr. Dixon gets rid of a female talent member for refusing to have sex with him. Okay, let's read this one. Several years into Miss Faraji's tenure at Fox, a female talent member, anonymous, again, why? Girl, put a name on it. Hired Faraji to do her hair at her house for an awards show. Anonymous asked that Miss Faraji meet her for lunch first. There, Anonymous told Miss Faraji that she would no longer be with Fox, as Mr. Dixon told her that she would need to have sex with him if she wanted to renew her contract, but she had refused. Anonymous further conveyed that Mr. Dixon was doing this to other women, that she should warn Miss Taylor to be careful, and a talk show host had recently reported Mr. Dixon. Okay, so now you're saying that he was okay. All right, I see what you're doing here. Following the lunch, Ms. Faraji called Ms. Taylor to convey what Anonymous had stated. Ms. Taylor responded that no one gives a fuck about Anonymous or the talk show hosts who have reported Mr. Dixon. Ms. Faraji later observed that Ms. Taylor's remark appeared accurate as no actions were taken to address the concerns raised. If it was not already apparent, it became even more clear that Fox enabled high-ranking individuals to abuse their authority, exerting undue control over female talent and employees. Fear permeated the workplace as stories of mistreatment circulated. As one example, Mr. Dixon deliberately assigned a female talent member who had been harassed and reported to a show set up to fail. When the show inevitably failed due to his sabotage, he used its failure as a justification to terminate her employment. In another instance, a coworker who frequently cried in the hallway due to relentless sexual harassment was fired just 1 week after reporting it. These repeated incidents reinforced an atmosphere where speaking up seemed futile and dangerous. Now, let me say this. You throwing a lot of stuff out here, Miss Faraji. You throwing a lot of stuff out here, Miss Faraji. But the stuff that, and maybe it's a strategy. I'm going to have to ask Pam. Maybe it's a strategy. But it seems to me like the stuff that will support what you're saying is all the anonymous. It's the anonymous. Right. What show was set up to fail? Like, can we put a name on this? You didn't put everybody else's name in it. Okay. And I don't know why you went to Joy to warn her nothing. She don't need to be warned about nothing. She didn't already told you, get over it. She didn't already told you, stop tripping over that man touching your butt. You think she care about the other stuff he got going on? The other women he allegedly sleeping with? The other women he allegedly groping? She don't seem to care. Okay. All right, now we're getting into Mr. Bayless. Okay, Mr. Bayless begins to give Ms. Faraji lingering hugs and kisses on the cheek while putting his body against hers and pressing her breasts. After the reporting by the talk show host fell on deaf ears, Mr. Bayless began requesting that Ms. Faraji give him a haircut once a week in the makeup room. Ms. Faraji did as she was told, as Ms. Peretti required Ms. Faraji to give haircuts to talent. Initially, during the haircuts, Mr. Bayless would discuss his life, his work at Fox, and other innocuous matters. However, soon after the weekly haircut started, Mr. Bayless began finding excuses to touch her. He would give her lingering hugs after each haircut, putting his body against her own, pressing against her breasts. He then began to kiss her on her cheeks. Ms. Faraji was uncomfortable by the physical contact and would make excuses to leave right after the haircuts. In approximately summer of 2017, Ms. Faraji, while giving Mr. Bayless a haircut, he told her that she was voluptuous. That's a word people be using, voluptuous. Who says that? Who just tells somebody they're voluptuous? Who does that? Okay. As English is her second language and she was not familiar with the word, Ms. Faraji asked what that meant. Mr. Bayless seemed amused and told her to figure it out. Ms. Faraji later asked a coworker what the word meant and was mortified. Mr. Bayless then started being more aggressive and direct in his advances. Ms. Faraji continuously declined, stating that she did not date at work as she is a single mom and needed her job. Ms. Faraji was terrified and then turned to her coworker to discuss the situation. The two decided that because Mr. Bayless was a powerful man and Fox protected powerful men, i.e. Mr. Dixon, it would only be to her detriment to report the issue. The two decided that Ms. Faraji needed to be kind towards Mr. Bayless or risk her job. As a single mother who relied, child, you mentioned one more time that you were a single mother, and that's no disrespect. That's no disrespect. But if you mention one more time that you were a single mother, we get it. We get it. What up, Don Don Boo? Don Don is going to open up the kitchen if y'all can get these likes up. It's 153 of y'all in here. Now, normally we don't open up the kitchen till there's 300 people in the room. But we're gonna go ahead. Don here. He said he'll open up the kitchen. He got a wing special going. He got a wing special going today. Okay. Oh Lord, let her cook. I mean, she said let her cook. Oh. In approximately November 2017, Ms. Faraji hurt her back at work, couldn't move for nearly 40 days, and received workers' compensation. She was on Lent. That's 40 days, Lent, right? Lent, that's 40 days. Okay. In approximately December 2017, when Ms. Faraji returned, When Ms. Faraji returned from her leave, she was not provided her full-time schedule and learned from a co-worker that Ms. Peretti had promised her shifts to someone else. Ms. Faraji called her union for help. Her union informed her that Ms. Ferrati's actions would be illegal under the law. Ms. Faraji then called Human Resources, who confirmed that she was entitled to her pre-leave schedule. On January the 5th of 2018, Ms. Peretti called Ms. Faraji into her office. When Ms. Faraji arrived, an individual from Human Resources was present. Ms. Peretti was falsely explaining that she did not want her full-time schedule, and that Ms. Faraji grew upset, explained that she did want her full-time schedule, and further explained that Ms. Peretti had been treating her poorly for years. That is not the time to have that conversation. Faraji then had multiple meetings with Human Resources where she explained that Ms. Peretti yelled at her, made fun of her, and bullied her. See, this is where y'all get in trouble. This is where y'all get in trouble. Can I say something? This is where y'all get in trouble. I work for the union. And when you are filing a complaint, stick to the issue at hand. Don't be bringing in other stuff. You can't go back 10 years. The issue right now is you getting your full-time schedule back. Focus on you getting your full-time schedule back. You can't do that. You can't be going back 20 years talking about that lady don't like me. Human Resources don't care. If you had Human Resources in the room and y'all was arguing about your shift and you said your union already told you that what that lady did she couldn't do, stick to the issue. I've been there. I'm telling you, I've been in the room. These people start going down Robin Hood. They go down the rabbit hole. And as the union rep, I used to have to bring them back and be like, ho, you can't talk about every time this principal said that they didn't like your outfit. Girl, don't nobody care about that. Right now, we talking about this right here. We're talking about this right here. You can't be going left and going right. You got to stay in the middle. Okay? I need you to focus. Okay, moving right along. Let's keep going. From Ms. Faraji's perspective, there was no resolution after these conversations. Yeah, because you started talking about stuff that didn't matter. As she was never informed of any sort of conclusion or action taken on Fox's part. Girl, did you get your schedule back? Well, did you get your full-time schedule back? That's the resolution. See, I need to know the answer to that. Did you get your excuse me? Girl, did you get your full-time schedule back? That's the resolution. But you don't say that. The fact that you don't put that in here tells me you got your schedule back. I'm going to just go with that. If you hadn't got your schedule back, you would have put that in there. The fact that you didn't put that in there makes me think you got your schedule back. Is this a sexual assault lawsuit or lawsuit against Fox and Jones? It's a little bit of everything because she got paid wages and she got a little bit of everything, Delisa. Paid wages, them not paying her overtime, them not paying this, but she also has, the actual harassment and all of that in there too. It's a little bit of everything, Delisa. Not cute, Aaliyah, we need a resolution. Yeah, but I feel like the fact that you didn't say they never gave me my full-time schedule back makes me think you got your schedule back. But I could be wrong. But I feel like that's what's going on here. But I mean, I could be wrong. All right, let's keep going. Because, child, we only on page 10. I'm going to stop talking so much, but I got questions. In approximately summer of 2018, Ms. Taylor was moved from Undisputed to The Herd with Colin Coward. Miss Taylor again requested Miss Faraji do her hair. Colin Coward also requested Mr. Faraji to do his hair. Thus, every day, Miss Faraji would do Mr. Bayless's hair for Undisputed and then do Miss Taylor and Mr. Cowherd's hair for the Herd. Throughout her entire tenure at Fox, Mr. Cowherd was professional and respectful to Miss Faraji and her coworker. Okay, so she cleared him. She said he didn't give me no problems. He was professional and he was courteous. We was good. Around this time, after learning of Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon's sexual relationship, Miss Taylor's then fiance broke off the engagement and threatened to go public with all that he knew. On information and belief, Mr. Dixon paid for the wedding deposits in an informal exchange for her fiance's silence. Now, let me say this. I'm going to be honest. Can I be honest about something? I think she learned a lot of this information because, people talk to their hairstylists. So I feel like these are conversations that were had with the hairstylist, like she was telling her business. And I feel like Joy might have thought they was friends or they were cool. You know what I'm saying? Based on them, hanging around for so long. So she might not have no proof per se, but I feel like this is girl talk. You go to the hairdresser, you be telling stuff. Like men talk to their barbers, women talk to their stylists, their nail tech and that kind of stuff. Like, that's kind of what I think that's where she's getting some of this information. That don't make it true. But I feel like that's where some of this girl talk is coming from. You see what I'm saying? Okay, let's keep going. On May 10th of 2019, Bobby Diaz, the individual who puts the microphones on the talent, mocked Miss Faraji for her pronunciation of English words and sexualized the way she was eating fruit. Miss Faraji did not respond. She just kept her eyes glued on the monitor playing Undisputed. Miss Peretti was present and did not do anything. On information and belief, Mr. Diaz openly gropes, harasses, and is inappropriate with women at Fox. On information and belief, Mr. Diaz has not been fired, reportedly due to his role in supplying the coquiana to numerous Fox employees and talent, even after an incident where he removed his pants on live cam. Girl, what is going? What in the world? Now you done made this man a drug dealer. You didn't, girl. You are, child. She worse than Woody. She telling everything. So now the man not getting fired because he bring the party favors. On information and belief, in December 2024, after Ms. Faraji sent notice of this impending lawsuit to Mr. Diaz, he made a mockery of his discussions with human resources regarding his interactions with Ms. Faraji, and he told various employees that Ms. Faraji was stupid. Defiantly stated that despite being told not to speak about his discussions with human resources, he didn't care, saying, "Who gives a shit?" He further boasted that he would never be fired. So this tells me that she still got people that work there that's talking to her. Because this is last month, December 2024. Somebody told you what happened after you sent notice of this lawsuit. That tells me you still got people working there that's giving you information. That's what that's telling me. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing. I hope you didn't out your source by putting this in the lawsuit. You didn't need to add that part to the lawsuit. Now you out in your source because now we know that there's still somebody there talking to you, girl. Oh, Lord, we back to Miss Taylor. Child, she all over the place. Now we back in 2020. In approximately February of 2020, Miss Taylor asked Miss Faraji to meet her for lunch in Beverly Hills. When Miss Faraji arrived, she found Miss Taylor with a man, Emmanuel Echo. Mr. Echo, Miss Faraji did not know. Mr. Echo could tell that the two were romantic, but she could tell that the two were romantically involved. A few months after meeting Mr. Echo at the lunch, Miss Faraji noticed him in the hallway. noticed him in the hallway. I lost my place. Hold on. While at work, Miss Faraji later asked Miss Taylor if Mr. Echo worked at Fox. Miss Taylor confirmed and explained that she wanted him to eventually recommend her on the show Speak for Yourself. Miss Faraji became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that she should probably not sleep with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Echo at the same time, as Mr. Dixon is a very powerful man and may become very angry. Miss Taylor told her not to worry about it. She explained that she was also now powerful, and once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she will follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her. She would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other women talent. Y'all. Child. She said Miss Taylor had a plan. If Mr. Dixon ever tried to out her, she had a plan. In approximately September 2022, Miss Taylor started to work on Speak. As Miss Taylor requested, Miss Faraji did her hair. And approximately in 2020, Jane Doe, Miss M, an employee at Fox, began demonstrating erratic behavior. One night at an informal dinner at Maestro Steakhouse, she grew irrationally enraged with Miss Faraji screamed, "F you, you Parisian bitch." The dinner ended after Miss M broke a glass and threatened to harm herself. Following the dinner, Miss Faraji's co-worker, Anonymous, who is Black, reported the incident to Human Resources, explaining she would not be okay with somebody calling her a black bitch. Anonymous also said that Miss Faraji had Miss Faraji report the incident to Miss Peretti. Despite these reports supposedly being anonymous, Miss M learned of the reports and became increasingly unstable towards Miss Faraji. Every single morning, Miss M would scream and throw things at Miss Faraji. Approximately 6 months later, Miss Faraji told Human Resources that she believed her life was in danger. Human Resources responded that Miss Faraji should just leave the workplace when Miss M was having an episode. After approximately a year and a half, Miss M was fired. Miss M's ex-boyfriend, a producer at Fox, shared that Human Resources gave Miss M a large amount of money in severance. Miss Faraji wondered why Fox rewarded her bully with money. Child, listen. Fox, y'all got all kinds of stuff going on over there. You got people with mental illness just having fits, but because their boyfriend is the producer, they don't lose their job. You got women allegedly sleeping with multiple men to try to get ahead and getting rewarded. You got the microphone people allegedly bringing party favors to work. It's too much. It is too much going on with all of this. Now, ooh, Lord, not your old company, Enron. Ooh, not Enron. I heard that name in a long time, child. Not you was working down to the Enron, Quake. Y'all don't know how much more of this I can take. We're going to read a little bit more. I think y'all get the gist of it, child. We only on page 12. This is a lot. Human Resources eventually apologized to Ms. Faraji, explaining they did not have experience with mental health issues. Human Resources offered Ms. Faraji free therapy. Ms. Faraji declined the free therapy, but began to see an independent therapist once a week to discuss her life at Fox. Ms. Faraji continues to see the same. But why you turn down the free therapy then? I mean, maybe you didn't want to go to their people. Maybe you wanted to pick your own. Not the baby oil vintage. I'm not doing this with you. Maybe you wanted your own therapist. Maybe you didn't trust the people that they was recommending. I could understand that. I could understand that you maybe didn't trust them. I get it. I get it. All right. Ms. Faraji believes she has cancer and conveys this to Mr. Bayless in an attempt to stop his advances, only to have him offer her $1.5 million. Wait, stop. She believes she has cancer, or she lied about having cancer to get him to leave her alone. Let me read this. Over the years, Mr. Bayless continued to make advances on Ms. Faraji, i.e., lingering hug, kisses on the cheek, inappropriate comments that he could change her life if she acquiesced to having sex with him. Miss Faraji will always make excuses regarding her son, politely change the subject, or make a joke, anything to keep him appeased and her job safe. In July 2021, Miss Faraji developed issues with her left ovary and was advised it could be cancer. Okay, so you thought it might have been cancer. Okay, girl. Okay. With a fourth biopsy scheduled, she explained her situation to Mr. Bayless, hoping that he would take pity on her and cease his advances. Instead, Mr. Bayless told her that he wanted to be with her. And she panicked and began rambling, and there were cameras everywhere. That she has a child, and that she does not want him. Mr. Bayless then grabbed her hands, began kissing them, and offered her $1.5 million to have sex. Miss Faraji made an excuse to leave. Approximately 1 week later, Mr. Bayless made another advance. She responded, "Skip, you have a wife." Mr. Bayless responded, "Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have 3 or 4 wives?" Miss Faraji responded that her father was dead. And when Mr. Bayless looked taken aback, she made an excuse to leave. On April 12th of 2022, Mr. Bayless texted Mr. Faraji, "I'm good today." The text meant that he would not be coming in for hair or makeup. On April the 13th of 2022, Mr. Bayless texted Miss Faraji and said, "Not comfortable coming down there. Just do what you need to do. It's okay." Miss Faraji asked him what's wrong. He replied, "Same stuff, worse." Miss Faraji, concerned about her own job, walked to Mr. Bayless' fitting room to see if everything was okay. He answered the door, and before she could speak, he began to angrily accuse her of fucking Mr. Sharp. Miss Faraji tried to explain that she did not have any feelings towards Mr. Sharp and had never slept with him or any other talent member or employee at Fox. But before she could speak, Mr. Bayless demanded that she come to his car after the show. Miss Faraji responded that she could not come sit in his car or it was inappropriate. Mr. Bayless grew irate and then left. On April 14th of 2022, Mr. Bayless texted Miss Faraji and said, "If you're distracted tomorrow, I'll wait until Monday, but I can't keep doing this." Miss Faraji told him she was very confused. "Hell, I'm confused reading this shit." Mr. Bayless responded, "Trust me, I'm far more confused." Miss Faraji then explained over text that she was not sleeping with Mr. Sharp. Mr. Bayless did not respond. On April the 15th of 2022, Mr. Bayless texted her, "Do you still want to do the haircut or just move on?" Miss Faraji responded that she doesn't want to move on from her job and that she will continue to do his hair. On April the 16th, Mr. Bayless called Miss Faraji. Miss Faraji did not answer the call because she was scared. "What you scared for? Wasn't you trying to cut this man's hair?" She then called him back 10 minutes later. On the call, Mr. Bayless again angrily accused her of effing Mr. Sharp and said that he could tell from her body language that she was effing him. Miss Faraji tried to explain that she was kind of all the talent, and that included laughing and engaging in conversation. She then asked if he was yelling at her because she refused to go to his car. Mr. Bayless answered that she shouldn't talk to him like that. She replied that she could respond however she wanted. Mr. Bayless then angrily stated that he heard her talk to Mr. Sharp about her vagina. Miss Faraji knew this to be untrue and was embarrassed and angry. Miss Faraji responded that even if she had been dating Mr. Sharp, which she wasn't, it shouldn't matter at all because she only had a professional relationship with Mr. Bayless. On April the 17th of 2022, Miss Faraji arrived in the makeup room, approximately 12 by 30 feet, containing 3 makeup and hair sections, turned on a recording device, put it on the table, and waited for Mr. Bayless to arrive. In the meantime, 2 of Miss Faraji's co-workers who were privy to Mr. Bayless' actions went to their talent members' rooms adjacent to the makeup room to listen in on the conversation. Girl, you was running the whole sting operation. Mr. Bayless then arrived in the makeup room for Miss Faraji to cut his hair in accordance with his regular schedule. Mr. Bayless knew that the makeup room was always recorded and clearly states this room is bugged during their conversation. Y'all confused as hell right now. Mr. Bayless stated that he would hate for them to lose their job, but she can't be doing a big thing with my arch rival. She responded by reiterating that being polite to Mr. Sharp is part of her job. Mr. Bayless responded, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. Mr. Bayless then warned that he doesn't want her to lose her job over this. She responded that she wasn't going to lose her job because she is a great hairdresser. Y'all, I'm so confusion right now. Mr. Bayless responded, I had love for you. I had for 6 years and you hurt me and you're ruining this. Ms. Faraji then again responded that she must be polite to all talent. Mr. Bayless then implied that if he stopped requesting her, it would affect her job. She responded that she implied... What? Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. She responded that she is scheduled to work every morning at 5:45, and if he would like to get his hair done, he is welcome to sit in her chair. Mr. Bayless continued to threaten her job. Ms. Faraji knew that he was trying to pressure her into having sex with him, but she kept repeating that she was professional and had to be kind to all the talent. Y'all confused. Now I'm just confused. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm a little lost in this. So if the makeup room is always recorded, then why was it necessary for you to turn on your own recording? And if the makeup room is always recorded, and he knows that the makeup room is always recorded, then wouldn't it be recordings of all the other times that he made advances at you or said inappropriate things to you? I am confusion. I'm confusion. We just gonna have to keep reading because maybe. On April the 21st, Mr. Bayless of 2022, Mr. Bayless asked if Ms. Faraji would come to his home to color his hair, a side job that Ms. Faraji previously would partake in when Mr. Bayless's wife was home. On this occasion, with her therapist's help, she conveyed that she would no longer be going to his home. The following week, Mr. Bayless arrived in the makeup room as if their conversation never happened, but Ms. Faraji remained on edge. Ms. Faraji had worsening nightmares regarding the incidents that took place with Mr. Bayless. Ms. Faraji's therapist started using eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing to talk her through her interactions with Mr. Bayless. Okay. All right, girl. In October of 2021, Ms. Faraji's friendship with Ms. Taylor ended. Ms. Taylor then began insinuating that Ms. Faraji on a personal and professional level, insulting. In early June of 2023, the treatment reached a breaking point as Ms. Taylor openly began mocking her English and complaining about Ms. Faraji's humming, an involuntary subconscious coping mechanism for her diagnosed PTSD. Ms. Taylor then began stating she needed a black hairstylist. Oh, Lord. Ms. Faraji and her co-workers who noticed the harsh interactions hoped that Fox would see through the facade that Ms. Faraji had been doing Ms. Taylor's hair for 7 years at Ms. Taylor's own request without any complaint and had been working on textured hair for decades. Ms. Faraji's June 1st diary entry states, she's been acting like this because I'm not black. I'm stupid. She keeps saying black girls' hair should be done like this, not how you do it. I've been doing her hair for 7 years. She keeps making me feel like my English is not good. She keeps making comments like, oh, white girls are dumb. Let me explain something. Something happened. What happened, girl? See, you leaving something out of that story. You left some, This way I got to put a pin in this. You left something out of that story. That woman turned a whole 360 on you. Why? Why for? What had happened? Miss Faraji? Hey. Now, y'all was cool. She was doing your hair for 7 years. She requested you and all of the above, and everything was good and everything was kosher. Was kosher. And now all of a sudden, I know 360, 180. I know, girl. And now all of a sudden, now all of a sudden, you can't do hair. She making fun of your accent. Girl, what happened? Something happened. Something happened. Inquiring minds want to know. You done left something out of that story. See, you didn't go on a timeline. You keep jumping back and forth, left and right, up and down, and that's why we can't keep it straight. If you had started at the beginning and just did a timeline, like was this after you started telling everybody her business? Like what? We need some. I'm confusion. We're gonna read a little bit more. We're gonna finish reading this narrative, and then we on June the 14th of 2023, Ms. Faraji reported the incidents to Ms. Peretti. Girl, you know Ms. Peretti don't care nothing about you. Why do you keep going to her? On June the 14th, her diary states, by now it's been 7 days that the company knows about this racism and discrimination towards me. I told my boss, Gina, I told Cindy all about it. On June the 16th, Ms. Peretti pulled Ms. Faraji into her office and asked if she wanted to leave. Speak is the name of the show. Ms. Faraji explained that she wanted to work. Ms. Peretti told her that she should just leave the room when Ms. Taylor was acting out. Ms. Faraji noticed this was a pattern. When Miss M bullied her, Human Resources told her to just leave the room. And now when Miss Taylor is bullying her, she's being told to just leave the room. I'm very disappointed in how Fox operates racism and bullying. Instead of getting rid of the bully, they want to get rid of me, the victim. Wow. Now, these are all her diary entries now, child. Child, she just started keeping a diary, honey. On June 21st of 2023, Ms. Peretti called Ms. Faraji into her office. Ms. Peretti explained that while Ms. Faraji should still go in every morning and set up for hair, Ms. Taylor no longer needed her as a stylist. Ms. Peretti explained that Ms. Faraji was to work from 5 to 9 and then from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then go home. When Ms. Faraji asked about touch-ups, Ms. Peretti stated that she had spoken to all talent on the show and no one needed touch-ups. Ms. Faraji then asked if she did something wrong. Ms. Peretti responded, "You remind me of my dog. And when I take my dog out, he barks at bigger dogs." Girl, what? That's like you. Ms. Faraji left the room and cried. To call someone a dog is one of the most offensive insults in the Parisian culture. I don't understand the dog reference either. You remind me of my dog. When I take my dog out, you bark at bigger dogs. Girl, I don't listen. I'm just going to be honest. This lawsuit lost me about 10 minutes ago. Not that it's not interesting. It's very interesting, but it just lost me. Girl, you all over the place. At this point now, I feel like you rambling. You kind of all over the place. Parisian, did I say it wrong? Parisian, y'all know what I'm saying. I know it's an analogy. Listen, Xavier, I know it's an analogy. It just don't make no sense. I know what it's supposed to be. It just don't make no sense. I get it. I don't get it in this situation. Xavier, don't make me come through this computer now. Child, how much more this we got? Hold on. Because I can't. Are we almost close? Lord, she started talking about, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. This thing go on for another. Oh, God. Child, she don't even get fired till page 19. Hold on, y'all. Okay, it goes on to page 21. What page were we on? We on page 14? Hold on. Let me go back to where we were, Chad. I guess we can get through 6 more pages. Chad. Let's go back to where the lady called her dog. Hold on. Okay. All right, we on page 16. We got 4 more pages. Okay, we can do this. Girl, whoo, we can get through 4 more pages, y'all. Yeah. That lady was tired. She said that lady was tired of her. That lady was tired of her. Not Dateline would really be. What's up, Lauren? Hey, y'all. Oh, Lord. All right, let's get through these last 4 pages. Because, Faraji, you losing me now, girl. Now, I ain't saying you lying. I'm just saying you're losing me a little bit here, okay? Ms. Peretti then hired 2 new black stylists to work from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. As Ms. Taylor is very picky with her hair, she did not like the work of the 2 new black stylists and asked a co-worker who is Latina to do her hair 5 days a week. The co-worker declined. On July 4th of 2021 and 24 of 2023, different talent members asked Ms. Faraji why she no longer providing touch-ups on Speak. Wait, what? Oh, okay. On July the 4th, the 21st, and the 24th. Okay. The third time they asked her, Ms. Faraji explained that because talent had indicated that they do not need touch-ups, she no longer available for touch-ups. The talent members were shocked and said they needed touch-ups on Speak. As Ms. Faraji did not feel it was professional to mention her conversation with Ms. Peretti, she explained that there must have been a misunderstanding. Ms. Faraji informed employee relations. She then became concerned for her job as this was a common tactic employed by Fox when retaliating against a witness or target. Fox systematically reduced work schedules and ultimately terminated employment by removing individuals from the schedule using fabricated business necessities as a pretext. In mid-July 2023, Anna Drunker, Miss Drunker, a Fox Sports Vice President of Employee Relations, asked Ms. Faraji for a meeting. At the meeting, Ms. Drunker asked if Mr. Taylor was having a sexual relationship with Mr. Echo. Ms. Faraji admitted that the two were in a sexual relationship. How you going to admit? Girl, what? Ms. Faraji shared this information because she didn't think it was a big deal. How you going to say you ain't think it was a big deal? Ms. Taylor and Mr. Echo had similar amounts of power at this time, and because she didn't think Ms. Taylor or Mr. Echo would physically harm her for providing this information. Girl, what? You just telling it. That's why, girl, see, that's why she didn't want you to do her hair no more. You just telling all her business. On July 31st, Kelsey Doe, Miss Doe, of Employee Relations asked Ms. Faraji for a meeting. At that meeting, Ms. Doe told her that there had been complaints of her humming. Ms. Faraji explained that her humming is an involuntary subconscious coping mechanism for her diagnosed PTSD and that everyone at Fox knew she hummed. Ms. Faraji further explained that she has been humming since she was a child, has been humming her entire tenure at Fox. Her humming was exacerbated in stressful situations, and although she hates it and wants it to stop, she does not even realize when she's doing it. Ms. Faraji further explained that if anyone was now complaining, they were only doing it to hurt and embarrass her. Ms. Doe thanked Ms. Faraji for the information, abruptly changed the conversation, and quickly asked whether she had made public comments regarding Mr. Dixon and Ms. Taylor having sex. Ms. Faraji became very scared, as Mr. Dixon previously assaulted her, and Ms. Taylor had warned her that he would fire her if she said anything. She responded that while everyone in the company knew about their relationship, she did not have any information and did not want to comment about it. Ms. Doe then tried to end the conversation and asked Ms. Faraji had any questions. She then began crying, asking why such a swift investigation took place regarding her humming, but no one cared about Ms. M threatening to kill her or others mocking her English. Ms. Faraji then explained that all she wants is a safe and normal work environment. But everyone mistreats her because there are no consequences for them. While she focused on others mocking her English, she was thinking of her interactions with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Bayless. Girl, again, now you bringing up stuff that happened. That lady had been fired. Why are you bringing up that lady? What's up, Winter? Hey, boo. Girl, why are you bringing up? See, I told y'all that's what the problem is. Y'all got to stay focused. That lady asked you if you had any questions. Why you wasn't worried about why they called you in the office to ask you about Miss Taylor and her alleged indiscretions? That's why I'd be like, why are you calling me? Why am I here? Did my name come up? Did somebody tell you that I said something? See, that's where I would have been thinking. You bringing up Miss M, who yelled at you. That lady been fired. On August the 3rd of July, on August the 3rd of 2023, Ms. Peretti told approximately 8 of Ms. Faraji's co-workers to not associate with her as she had a pending case with Human Resources. Ms. Faraji was confused. From her perspective, she didn't have any pending cases with Human Resources. Employee Relations had only called her in to answer questions regarding Ms. Taylor. Girl, what? On August the 9th of 2023, Ms. Peretti told Ms. Faraji that her services were officially no longer needed on Speak. Ms. Faraji's diary entry for that day states that they are only taking me off the show because I reported Joy. Who the hell is Joy? Who is Joy? Did we miss a name? I didn't skip no lines. Who is Joy? I report. Oh, Joy. I'm sorry. Joy Taylor. My bad, y'all. My bad. We've been calling her Miss Taylor the whole time. My bad. I forgot. That's her first name. Okay. Don't put it in the chat. I didn't already corrected myself. Okay. I was confusion for a second, but now, okay, Joy. After I reported that they took me off the show, this must be illegal. Oh, August 21st of 2023, Kim, is that Bouvier? Fox Sports Executive Vice President of Human Resources and Business Operations, and Ms. Drucker asked Mr. Bayless for a meeting. When Mr. Bayless arrived, they told Mr. Bayless not to worry and that his job was safe. The two often started interrogating him on whether he had a romantic relationship with Ms. Faraji and whether she had offered him sex. When Mr. Bayless responded truthfully that she had never offered him sex, they again told him not to worry, that his job was safe, heavily implying that they wanted him to say otherwise. This circular conversation took place for approximately 20 minutes. Following that meeting, Mr. Dixon called Mr. Bayless and asked why he didn't just lie. Mr. Bayless responded that he cares about Ms. Faraji. Mr. Dixon responded, who cares? I can get you a better looking stylist. Girl, how do you know he said that? Hey. How do you know that conversation took place? How do you know that man said that to Skip Bayless? I am so confused right now. Listen, first of all, we need a timeline. First of all, I need a timeline from the day you were hired to the day you filed this lawsuit, because this shit is all over the place. And my brain can't work like this because I don't know when this took place. Did this take place? I'm confusion. When did Human Resources call you in to ask you about Joy? Was that before Joy fired you? Was it after Joy fired you? Were you telling people that Joy was sleeping with that man? It sounds like you were, because you done told all of us. You done told all of us. So it sounds like you were telling other people too. I am so confused. We almost done, y'all. Hang in there with me. Hang in there. The investigation is indicative of the role of Human Resources and Employee Relations as a protector of abusers and wrongdoers. Inexplicably, Fox has allowed Human Resources and Employee Relations to personally intermingle with other departments of high-level decision makers to their own benefit. For example, Afiz Tijani was promoted from Human Resources to a producer after he turned a blind eye to various allegations. Shortly after his promotion, Ms. Faraji noticed that he was at Fox early in the morning. She asked him why he was in so early, and he responded that he was now producing a show called Our Great Boss, Charlie Dixon, who has the power to do it because he made me a producer. That's all you need, a powerful man. You don't need experience. He pompously responded, yes, that's correct. Okay. In late August of 2023, Mr. Bayless learned that Mr. Sharp and Ms. Faraji had never been involved romantically. Subsequently, Mr. Bayless pulled Ms. Faraji aside for a conversation. During this conversation, Mr. Bayless apologized for accusing her of having sex with Mr. Sharp. Disclosed details regarding his August 21st, 2023 meeting with Human Resources. Oh, okay, that's how she know, because he told her. And further disclosed that Mr. Dixon wants Ms. Faraji fired because she knew too much and was talking. Mr. Bayless also disclosed that he believed Mr. Dixon kept his wife on Fox's payroll to keep her silent about his affairs. Mr. Bayless asked Ms. Faraji out to dinner to continue the conversation, but she declined, stating she cannot do anything that even gives the inference of a non-work relationship because she wants to keep her job. Child, if she tell us one more time she want to keep her job. Baby, she done said that 20. If I had a $20 bill for every time she done said that she wants to keep her job and that she's a single parent, child, I could probably go and buy me some groceries and get ready for this blizzard that they say is coming. Winner! Are you getting ready to get on the plane and go somewhere? Because, baby, they said it's a blizzard coming. They said it's a blizzard coming. Steph Boogie, you late, but you got it. Everybody is a mess. Fox just give her the money and buy the story and make a movie. Yes, this sounds like some Lifetime shit. This is crazy as hell, y'all. We almost done. We on page 18. We trying to get to page 21. We almost done. On October 18th of 2023, Mr. Bayless told Ms. Faraji that Mr. Dixon was continuing to push him to ask for a different hairstylist, but Mr. Bayless refused. Ms. Faraji's diary entry for that day states, I feel desperate. I don't know how to save my job. Charlie is the big boss, and I'm just a hairstylist with no power. Skip said that Joy is telling Charlie to get rid of me. That's crazy. On October the 20th of 2023, Mr. Bayless told Ms. Faraji that Mr. Dixon had threatened his job because he continuously requested Ms. Faraji, stating he would rather have another pretty girl on Undisputed over Mr. Bayless anyway. On December the 21st of 2023, Mr. Bayless told Ms. Faraji that he still loved her and confided that Mr. Dixon was the one who told him that Ms. Faraji was sleeping with Mr. Sharp. Mr. Bayless then again tried to have sex with Ms. Faraji. Her diary entry for that date states, I said, Skip, I'm only interested in working with you and having a friendship relationship with you and nothing else. He said, you have no idea. You are losing everything. I don't know what he means by that, and I hope he doesn't take me off the show. It makes me sick to my stomach. It's really hard for me to work like this. I hope God helps me because Fox is supporting people like Charlie and Skip. That's what you wrote in your diary. Okay. On December the 17th of 2023, one of Ms. Faraji's co-workers was indefinitely taken off of schedule, and she took offense to the bullying racist comments made by a Fox NFL host. Over the next few months, Ms. Faraji made it known amongst the department that if needed, she would speak out on her co-workers' behalf. Ms. Peretti responded, if it's so hard for you here, why don't you quit? She later commented, I don't regret anything I did to the co-worker or another co-worker. She ain't putting these people's names in here. This was especially cruel as she knew one of the co-workers had tried to unalive themselves. Ms. Faraji reached out to Ms. Drucker, and asked if she could get an attorney. Ms. Drucker responded that she does not need an attorney. On approximately June 24th of 2025, a talent member disclosed to Ms. Faraji that Undisputed was going to be canceled and that Mr. Bayless was going to be fired. Ms. Faraji grew internally anxious that Mr. Dixon was trying to get her fired. Later that week, on Monday, Ms. Faraji gave Mr. Bayless a haircut. During the haircut, Mr. Bayless told her about a new opportunity he was expecting outside of Fox. Ms. Faraji asked if he would still be coming back to Undisputed, and he replied, "Of course." Mr. Bayless then told Ms. Faraji that he fantasizes about having sex with her and asked how much money it would take for her to have sex with him. Ms. Faraji stated that she already refused $1.5 million and that her answer wasn't going to change. He replied, "The more you say no, the more I want you." Girl. On August the 2nd of 2024, Undisputed was canceled. Mr. Bayless was fired and Ms. Faraji was taken off the schedule. Ms. Peretti told her that there were no longer a need for her. That same day, Mr. Bayless asked her to walk with him to his car on his way out. She felt she had no choice but to walk him to his car. Once at his car, they noticed Mr. Dixon in the parking lot, not looking at them. Mr. Bayless told Ms. Faraji, "Fuck Charlie. If you want to sue him, go for it. Fuck them. Charlie is not going to sleep tonight. He's scared of what I'm going to tell you. Fuck him." That same day, Ms. Faraji reached out to Fox, asked why she was taken off the schedule, and explained that although Undisputed had been canceled, she had worked on the herd for over 5 years, speak for over 1 year, and talent continued to request her. Fox did not provide a substantive, you know what I'm saying, response, but they would investigate the issue. On August the 5th of 2024, Ms. Faraji was asked to give Mr. Silverman a haircut in the same manner she had been doing for over the past 7 years. Ms. Faraji then reached out to Fox to ask what she should do, as she did not want to let Mr. Silverman down. The next day, Fox again did not provide a substantive response, but said they are continuing to investigate the issue. On August the 8th, after finishing their investigation, Fox was finally able to muster the following pretextual reason for firing Ms. Faraji. They can only afford to have one hairdresser work on all 3 shows: a new morning show, Speak, and Undisputed. Ms. Faraji's fears were actualized as she realized she had become the target. Fox systemically reduced her work schedule and ultimately terminated her employment by removing her from the schedule entirely, using fabricated business necessities as a pretext. Guided by its attorneys, Fox then implemented the revised schedule, assigning a single hairdresser to cover all 3 shows for approximately 3 months. Once Fox believed it had sufficiently justified its actions from a legal standpoint, they reverted to their long-standing scheduled agreement, which included one hair and makeup professional in the morning and another set in the afternoon, the same arrangement that had been in place for years. Ms. Faraji's tenure, in addition, Fox employed a barber to work exclusively on the morning show. So they hired a barber after they was making her do it for 7 years, child. For weeks after being terminated, Ms. Faraji remained conflicted as to her next steps. She remained quiet about her experiences at Fox as she was fearful, believing that Mr. Dixon might hire someone to kill her should she go public. Girl, you thought he was going to try to unalive you? Oh my. After many therapy sessions, Ms. Faraji has concluded she never wants to work with Mr. Bayless again, feeling ashamed for working with him for so many years, and is able to better control intrusive thoughts of Mr. Dixon hurting her again. In response to her feelings of shame, embarrassment, and fear, her therapist told her that she had only been doing what she thought she needed to do to survive. At this point, Ms. Faraji seeks justice. She knows that Mr. Dixon used his position of power to coerce women into having sex with him and used it as justification to grope Ms. Faraji. She knows that Mr. Dixon did not immediately fire her after Ms. Taylor and Ms. Faraji had a falling out, only to appease Mr. Bayless by providing him with a plaything. Despite Ms. Faraji being an excellent hairdresser and continuously being requested by talent, she was shrunken down to how much she could appease Mr. Bayless And once Mr. Bayless was gone, so was her job. To date, talent continues to work for Ms. Faraji at Fox, including Mr. Cowherd, who posted a poll on her Twitter page. Okay. Following her departure from Fox, Mr. Bayless began featuring his wife on his podcast. On information and belief, he changed his cell phone number and he maintained for many years, presumably in the hopes of removing and deleting incriminating messages, presumably after receiving notice of this impending lawsuit from Fox. Child, you still know a lot of information. How do you know that man changed his phone number? How do you know that man changed his phone number? Now, the rest of the lawsuit just goes into what they want, what they're asking for. Y'all know how that goes. I want to know, though, how do you know that man changed his phone number? Sure. She tried to contact him. Maybe, honey. Now, Marcellus Wiley. Now, y'all know he ain't a friend of ours. We talked about him a while back, and he got his own legal issues. But baby, Marcellus Wiley went down to his social media. He's a former NFL player. His wife was on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for one season, but he also worked for Fox. And he was there on his social media, and he said, I'm going to let y'all see what he said, honey. Let me show y'all what the man said, honey. Let me let y'all see what the man done said. Lord, y'all know my computer's slow, honey. Marcellus Wiley, he said that the Joy Taylor, Charlie Dixon allegations make a lot of sense. He said, I never heard that Charlie Dixon and Joy Taylor were sleeping together, but upon hearing it, I'm not going to lie to y'all, it makes a lot of sense. It unlocks a lot for me. Hold on. He was fired from Fox, but he's saying that, now in retrospect, when he looks back on certain things, it starts to make a lot of sense. I've heard that before. He said, I've heard before multiple times that she was sleeping with him. Part of the reason it was suggested that they do a show together is because of the allegations in the lawsuit that they were sleeping together, conspiring to get that to go. Conspiring with Charlie, conspiring with Emmanuel, let's make this work. What's crazier is how they split apart. Why did they go into different shows? They say the relationship went sour. Wiley co-hosted Speak for Yourself on FS1 from 2018 to 2022, first with Jason Whitlock and then with Echo. In the fall of 2022, the show was rebranded as Speak, and Wiley was replaced by Taylor and LaShawn McCoy. Unlocking the piece of Charlie, Wiley continued, if true, I'm looking at my history and I'm looking at the history of a lot of other talents on that network a lot differently in a really bad way. Imagine if Charlie is allegedly sleeping with Joy and Emmanuel Echo, there's somebody who's not sleeping with Joy Taylor. Wait a minute. And Emmanuel Echo, and there's somebody who's not sleeping. That's not sleeping with Joy Taylor. Talking about himself. Let's just use me because I've known Joy Taylor since she was born, basically. Before this lawsuit, I couldn't even make sense of the nonsense. But the part right there, the allegation of Joy sleeping with Charlie and Emmanuel versus an example like me unlocks a lot. Wiley went on to surmise that this is going to get worse, stating there were a lot of things in the lawsuit he didn't know about, but there were also details in there that he knew to be factual. But according to Wiley, learning that this scandal was more than just a talent romance and may have started at the top is a precursor to this scandal getting uglier. And Fox said, We take these allegations seriously and have no further comment at this time, giving the pending litigation. They also made an additional statement where they said they would let the legal process through, whatever. Yeah. Maybe this thing is messy. Thank you, Ruru. Now, I already told y'all the other day. Now, I told y'all the other day. I'm not no hoe. I ain't no hoe. But $1.5 million, it might make me holler. I'm just telling you. Now, I'm just being honest. And if y'all being honest with yourselves, I ain't saying everybody in the chat agree with me, but a lot of y'all do. A lot of y'all agree with me. Y'all ain't got to say it. Y'all ain't got to put it in the chat. But y'all know that $1.5 million will make you holler. Y'all know that. Right, Quake? Right. Give you a good 6 minutes. Now, I already told y'all I would have to confirm the deposit, and then I would have to transfer it out of that account into a different account that he don't have no access to. But once I have confirmation of the 1.5 in my account, that's all I'm saying. Move right along. Y'all, that's all I got. That's all I got for this. Hope y'all enjoyed the reading of now listen. We have Married to Medicine, I'm trying to get done today. And we have Real Housewives of Beverly Hills later on tonight. The Don King lawsuit, I think we might do that tomorrow. Which I think. I think we're going to do the Don King lawsuit tomorrow. I don't know how many pages that is. I don't know how many pages that is. But we're going to look. Y'all want, hold on. Let's see what the Don King. Let's see how long this Don King lawsuit is. Hold on. Is the tax-free 1.5 million? Now we had to figure out how to make it tax-free. I might have to call somebody. No, I probably got to go to work tomorrow. If we do it tomorrow, it'll be tomorrow evening. Not Cindy, don't do that. Cindy said he not dead. Don't do that, Cindy. Don't do that. Hold on, let me see how long this Don King lawsuit is, child. Hold on, let me see. Let's see. Tracy sent this to me the other day. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, wait a minute. Is that it right there? Hold on. Yeah, here it is right here. Hold on. Let me see how long this lawsuit is, child. It's only 20 pages. It's not long. It's not long. It's 20 pages. All right, we might do this later on today. Let me get off of here. Let me give me something to eat. Give me a few minutes. And because we still want to get caught up on this Married to Medicine. And we have Real Housewives of Beverly Hills tonight. 2025, the year the lawsuit. Hell, that was 2024. We just carrying it over, child. We've been talking about lawsuits since that Diddy dropped. I think since that, well, actually, we've been talking about lawsuits since Whitehead. Shout out to Pam. The law intellect. Yeah, what time is it? It's 1 o'clock. Give me a few minutes. Give me something to eat and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's a snow day. Let's get this content out, child. Let's go on. Let's get it out, child. We're trying to get to 30K this year. We got a goal, honey. We got a goal over here in the tribe. We're trying to get to 30K. So if you are new here, it's 163 of y'all in the chat. If you are new here, if y'all could please do me a favor, hit that like button. And if you are new here, subscribe. Okay? And tell your friends and tell a friend and tell a friend. We're trying to get to 30K this year. We got some goals. Something I was getting ready to say. Winter, you've been gallivanting around the globe, honey. You've been gallivanting, Winter. Are you home for a minute? I'm a slide in your DMs. Maybe we can grab a drink over the next couple of weeks, child. A week in between the snow, honey. We can grab a drink, honey. Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about we'll come back in a few minutes. I just don't know what I want. I don't know if I want to do Married to Medicine and get that out the way, or if I want to do Don King and get that out the way. You home for the rest of the month? Okay, well, let's get past this snow hump, because they talking about a blizzard this weekend. Maybe we can slide. Winter and I we're gonna explore a speakeasy. We're gonna go to one of these speakeasies here in DC. Maybe we could slide in. But I'm sure you got I'm sure you have a lot to say once you get your and I know you had a wonderful event that you shared on your social media. So I know you're gonna get back to your content soon. And I know you have a lot to say as it relates to Kingdom Reign, honey, and some of these other shenanigans that I know you see going on. All right, you guys. Yeah, let me get me something to eat. I think I got some soup in here. About to warm up some soup. And then we're gonna you about to run to the Chinese takeout? I ain't running nowhere. I cleaned off my car. I made sure I could move my car front and back. And I said I'm good until tomorrow, because I'm sure we're gonna have to go to work tomorrow. I'm hoping for a 2-hour delay, but it'll probably be regular, because the roads are decent. The roads are decent. So we'll probably be back at work tomorrow. But baby, if they talking about a foot of snow could possibly hit us this weekend, baby, it might be another snow day on Monday, child. We're gonna be in school till July. Oh Lord. All right, y'all. I'm gonna be back. Give me about an hour or so, and we'll be back. I'm not sure if we're gonna do Don King or if we're gonna do Married to Medicine. We'll do one of the two. If we do Married to Medicine, we're gonna be on the review channel, and if we do Don King, we'll be right here. But we're gonna do one of the two. You know what? The person that plowed the angel that came and did my walk, I found out he's one of my neighbors. So I don't know exactly what house he lives in, but he didn't want any money, because I told him to come in, ask for some, knock on my door when he was done. So he doesn't want any money, but I'm gonna figure out something really nice to do for him. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Because sometimes people just they don't want money. But maybe I'll put a basket together for him or something. I don't know him, but my neighbor told me that he's a neighbor. So I don't know who he is, but I'm gonna find out who he is, and I'm gonna do something nice for him. I just got to figure it out. But yeah, I found out he's one of my neighbors, so I really do appreciate that. My neighbors, they know that I'm a single woman here in this house, and so they really do look out for me. They really, listen, I don't have any complaints. My neighbors look out for me. A lot of times when it snows or the leaves or little stuff like that, before I look out and it's already done. Oh, a coffee coupon. You know what? Maybe I'll get him a couple of gift cards, because I don't know him. I just don't know anything about him. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll get him some gift cards. Like a variety of gift cards to different places. That's a good idea, Chuck. That's a good idea. But I'm gonna do something. I just gotta figure it out. Since he clearly didn't want my money. You know what I mean? But I do want to acknowledge it. A Visa gift card. Did I say single mother? I know I ain't mean to say mother. I think I said single woman. If I say mother, y'all know I ain't mean that. I ain't got no churn. Single woman. Look at a leather man. What's a leather man? What's that? What's a leather man? Hold on. Let me Google that. Leather man. I don't know what that is. Oh. Oh, I see what it is. Oh, that's nice. Okay. It's like a tool. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I might have to. All right, but that's a cute idea, though. That is a cute idea. But I'm definitely going to find something. Thank you. That's a good suggestion, Quake. That's a really good suggestion. I don't know that man like that, though. Because I don't know he married. I don't want to give him nothing too deep. And people be side-eyeing me and be like, why you buying my husband? So I'm trying to keep it real, Keep it real right here and not right there. I want it up here and not down there. You know what I'm saying? Not Smith and Wesson. Okay, on that note, I'm going to bed. I mean, I'm getting off of here. Goodbye. Thank y'all. I'll be back. I'll be back in about an hour. I ain't figured out which one yet, but I'll put it on my community wall which one I decide. All right. Mwah. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.